What's up, Ride Warriors? We will be tracking the thrills today at the historic Coney Island Luna Park and Scream Zone, the birthplace of the American roller coaster. This has been a place that I've wanted to get to for a very, very long time, and I am super excited to be looking at some of the roller coasters here today. So let's get into the park and see what's up first. The first roller coaster I rode was Soaring Eagle. Now, Soaring Eagle is a Zamperla Volare flying coaster that opened up in 2011. If you've ridden one of these, you know they're not the most comfortable of roller coasters. This one was okay, not something that's very high on my list, kind of uncomfortable at points. It was a lot smoother than the one at Canada's Wonderland that I rode a few years back. So definitely this one will be getting 1 star. Right next door is a new take on the classic Steeplechase ride. Steeplechase is a Zamperla moto coaster that also opened up in 2011 in the Scream Zone section of the park. And this one features a nice little launch, some nice little twists and turns, a very smooth ride, a very solid ride. I enjoyed this one a lot. I enjoy the moto coasters a lot. So this one will definitely be getting 2 stars. Next on the docket is Thunderbolt, Luna Park's newest roller coaster, which opened in 2014. Thunderbolt is also made by Zamperla and is a new take on a classic out and back coaster. This one, though, features a vertical chain lift of 114 feet, a 98-foot tall first loop, and then also has a number of other inversions throughout the ride. Now, for some reason, this ride just didn't hit it off with me. The restraints were a little strange. They have a classic clamshell, but also the seatbelt restraints that kind of cut into you at different points. I felt that the ride could have been a lot smoother. This one was a little jerky for me, and just didn't have that punch that I was expecting it to have. I've been on other Gerstlauer Infinity coasters, which this kind of reminded me of, and this one just fell short of those. Still a fun ride, still a ride that probably you should definitely ride, but for the most part, I'm giving this one only 2 stars. This next roller coaster really took me by surprise, and that's the Tickler that opened up in 2010 and is a Zamperla Wild Mouse. Now, I've been on other spinning Wild Mouse roller coasters before, but this one just seemed to be a step above all the rest. It's probably my favorite of all the spinning Wild Mouses. For some reason, this one just spun and spun and spun. Was super fast, was super smooth, just overall amazing experience. Maybe one of the best roller coasters I had on the entire trip. And like I said, a complete surprise, having been on other ones in the past, being impressed, having a good ride, but this one was just an outstanding ride. So definitely this one I would highly recommend, and because of that, I am giving it 3 stars. No park is complete without a kiddie coaster, and the Circus Coaster fits that bill. This Zamperla Speedy Coaster that opened in 2010 is a standard kiddie coaster and receives 1 star. The most anticipated ride of this entire trip was definitely riding Cyclone for the very first time. Now, I had some a little trepidation before riding this, having heard horror stories of how rough it is and how unrideable it is. I've also ridden other Cyclone clones throughout the country, including Viper and Georgia Cyclone. And while those are good rides, they're not outstanding rides. Well, let me say that the Cyclone that opened up in 1927 at Coney Island is one of the best wooden coasters I've ever been on. I was completely astounded by how smooth it was, by how fast it was, and how much air time was generated in the various hills throughout the entire ride. This ride completely blew me away, took me by complete surprise. And I have to credit a lot of that to GCI with all the retracking that's been done over the last few years, that they have turned this into one outstanding roller coaster that I am definitely going to give the highest ranking I've ever given any ride on this show thus far, and that is 4 stars for the Coney Island Cyclone. Overall, Ride Warriors, Luna Park at Coney Island is a place that every single coaster enthusiast needs to get to at some point in their life. that even though the rides may not be outstanding, that some of the coasters are average to above average, rides like Cyclone just make this trip worth it. That, like I said before, Cyclone just completely floored me with how great that is. And the overall atmosphere of the park is so unique and so different from every other park you've ever been to. It's just a place that you need to go at some point in your life. May I even say a pilgrimage to Luna Park into Coney Island is a must for every roller coaster enthusiast. As always, Ride Warriors, thank you for joining us here, and be sure to check out our other Tracking the Thrills episodes, and we will have more for you in the future. And as always, ride on, Ride Warriors.